Hello viewers and welcome back to SaharaTV. Hope you guys have been enjoying the show like we have. So right now it's time for the callback segment where we'd like to hear from you, the viewers. And the number to call is 917-284-9811. And of course I'm joined by the superstar herself, Adeola, keeping it real, Fayehun.
Yes,
Adeola.
it's nice to be here, Humble Prince.
Yeah,
and
it's a pleasure.
Thank you for all the high call. Please welcome the superstar Humble Prince himself. Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
So Humble Prince, we have like 3 different questions to tackle today.
Yeah.
And viewers, make sure you're calling in. The number to call is already on the screen. If it's not, it would be in a minute. Yep. Make sure you call in when I get as many calls as possible.
Yes, we'd like to hear from you guys, definitely.
But to get right on it, the very first question that I want you and I to talk about is the question about the soldiers that are facing death sentence. First of all, I personally find that really disturbing. So the question is, would you support amnesty for these soldiers if granted by President Goodluck Jonathan? These were the soldiers that refused to fight Boko Haram, saying that they were ill-equipped. What do you think about that?
They should definitely be granted amnesty, honestly.
What are we even talking about amnesty? I feel like amnesty is for someone that has done something bad or whatever.
Right. So they shouldn't even be in this position in the first place.
Thank you.
Exactly. So they weren't well equipped to go fight Boko Haram. Like, you know, as you can see, what happens with soldiers that are well equipped to fight Boko Haram. We've been kicking Boko Haram's behind. So
I don't see the honor in them going to fight Boko Haram knowing they will die.
Exactly. So I don't think the country did them a disservice, not them doing the country a disservice. So
thank you.
You're right. So it shouldn't have even reached this point where we're asking to grant them amnesty. We should just let them go.
Yeah, I feel like how Yoruba people would say, "I tete mole ole te molo."
That's like, very good.
It's like, okay, so you can't send me to school and not give me the textbooks or pencil to write or papers, and then you say that I'm failing.
You didn't give them the weapons. These soldiers were ill-equipped. They knew it was literally like a death sentence. They were going there to die, and I think that was a good interview Kwesi did with Faloye.
Yeah.
I think they said Faloye has actually defended them, and you know.
Of course, I feel like anybody with their right senses would defend the soldiers.
Exactly.
And you know, it leads me to the very first comment that I'm reading by Nath Limona, and he said that what amnesty are we talking about? The soldiers did the needful under the circumstances. Release them and get them back to duty with full benefit. Let's not forget these soldiers are also human beings like we are. I mean, I know this is their job, but they have families. They have wives. They have children at home. Why would you see death and, you know, go and kill yourself just because?
I tell you, can you imagine if this happened in the United States? The United States would be, they would sue the United States.
They would sue the government for not giving them the right equipment.
Exactly.
I'm going to read another one by Evanson Bodo, and he's saying that in Jonathan's best style of government, it's honorable for you to be a criminal than to be innocent, which is, I think that's what is playing out right now.
How unfortunate.
And this is the first government in the history of Nigeria where soldiers are sentenced to death because they asked for better weapons to confront
Honestly, it makes no sense at all. And, you know, it's just a shame that these soldiers are in this predicament that they are in now. They shouldn't even have been in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
These are people that say, you know what, we want to serve our country, we want to fight our country, we want to defend.
And so many of them have died, by the way.
Exactly. So we want to uplift and uphold the honor of this country. But, you know, to do that, you have to honor us first and give us the appropriate equipment and weapons to go and destroy Boko Haram.
And you know, it's like not many people are talking about the soldiers that have laid down their lives, the soldiers that have paid the ultimate price.
Yes, exactly.
What's happening with their family? Their family members.
What kind of compensation are they getting?
Exactly. You know, no one is talking about that. They're talking about killing the ones that.
Exactly. You know the right thing now. They should. I bet you if they release these soldiers now, with the kind of weapons they have now, they will fight.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, that we've been whooping Boko Haram's behind.
Definitely.
Lately.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you guys will also call in as well, join in the conversation. But before we go off of this question, I just wanted to talk about, you remember that pilot that was taken by Boko Haram and slaughtered? Yeah. Do you know that till today, Nigerian government has not acknowledged that man? They denied that he's a Nigerian pilot.
That's a shame.
So a country that would do that,
guy,
why would anybody want to die for Nigeria?
Exactly.
And now you're going after the soldiers that are... Anyway.
What basis? Honestly,
makes no sense. Makes no sense.
You know, they need to listen to the people. The people are totally against it. I wonder, can we maybe start a petition?
Oh yeah, start a petition. I will sign it. Humble.
Yes. Start a petition for these soldiers,
please make sure you call in. We want to hear from you guys, and I'm hoping that you see the number on the screen. It's 917-284-9811. Make sure you call in so we hear your view as well. But I'm gonna read one more answer to that question, and this is from Adeola, and he says the question of amnesty does not even arise. As far as some of us are concerned, they have not done anything wrong. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for that comment.
They should be paid for their incarceration, and then they should be released to join their colleagues. And Boko Haram has killed enough of our young officers due to the government planlessness and insensitivity. Exactly. Do we know how many soldiers have actually died because they were ill-equipped?
Exactly.
We don't.
We don't know.
The Nigerian government should be sued.
Yes.
In any case, yes, the government should be sued.
Definitely.
We don't know how many soldiers
sue now, though,
have actually died.
Because we can't hold the incoming government responsible for the...
Yeah, before May 29. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the government needs to be accountable for all the people that have died. Definitely. Now, let's talk about our next question of the day. And once again, I'm hoping you guys will call in. We want to hear your voice, 917-284-9811. This is where you get to talk about, you know, whatever you want to talk about on the show and answer the question of the day. So, as you know, Israel is offering $3,500 and a one-way ticket to go home or to go to another third world country to illegal African migrants.
Right.
What option would you choose if you found yourself in this situation? So what do you think about that story, first of all?
First of all, I find it a bit disturbing that, you know...
Thank you.
Yes, Israel was founded by refugees. You know, that's a known fact, and the way they're treating refugees is just unbelievable. You know, I can understand if these refugees were there causing trouble or anything, but, you know, they're just looking for a better life. Most of them have escaped wars, unlivable conditions in their countries and everything. Yeah. So to come there, so I mean, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at this, you know. And,
my first question was, why did they let them in the country in the first place? I mean, these people are already in your country.
Exactly.
And then you actually build a prison for them.
Yeah.
And then you're housing them in this huge prison. You want them to go back home. And I think we have a caller. Niyu from New York. Welcome to SaharaTV.
Hey. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Thank you for calling.
No problem. Okay, I'm going to take the other side to your position on the soldiers that are being convicted. First of all, it's a volunteer army. They're being paid to defend the country. In every state, you have armies of different degree of equipment or weaponization or weapon provision. You don't say that you're not going to fight an enemy because the enemy is better equipped or you're better suited not to even be in the army. When Vietnam was being invaded by a heavily armed, more sophisticated armed foe, the Vietnamese did what they did and fought their battle on different tactics, not with superior weapons, but on superior tactics. In this day and age, if we are going to defend Nigeria and Nigerians, then it must be something that must be done whether the enemy has more weapons or not. That's what's called military strategy and tactics. You adapt your strategy and tactics to your advantage, and you turn the enemy's advantage into their weakness, and you turn your weakness into your advantage. And that's what any sensible army does. You look at what you have, what you don't have, you look at what the enemy has, what they don't have, and you make your strategy on that basis. But you don't just give up, sit down, and let the enemy run over your citizenry simply because you don't have the same type of weapons that the enemy has.
Thank you
very much.
Wait, hold on. Some of these soldiers considered this a suicide mission. What do you think of that?
Is that a question for me?
Yes.
It's not a suicide mission.
Okay.
At the end of the day, your job if you're in the army and you decide that you are going to sign up to the army, your job is to defend the citizens of the country. So if you're facing an army that's better equipped, what you do is you have to decide what's your strategy for defeating that army. No army is impregnable. What your job is to do is to find the best way of fighting someone. Okay. I can be walking down the street and someone could come and attack me and my wife or my mother. He might have a gun. I might not have a gun. I am not just going to sit down and allow my mother and my wife to be killed without a fight.
Thank you. I have another question for you, though, if you don't mind. I don't think the issue here, Mr. Nee, is trying to comparing the weapon that the enemy has, saying the enemy is better equipped. I think the issue here is saying the Nigerian soldier is ill-equipped. We don't care the weapon that Boko Haram has. But the fact that we know that $5 million is being budgeted every year for weapons, and the soldiers are not getting these weapons. And at the same time, several times Boko Haram has raided army barracks, taking their weapon, taking the weapon of the Nigerian army to the Sambisa forest. And I think another issue here is the fact that so many of the soldiers know that there are insiders of Boko Haram in the army, because whenever they raid the Nigerian army, they would tell the soldiers not to attack back, not to retaliate until Boko Haram leaves. So why then would you, so if you have a friend that's a soldier and is in this kind of situation, and you know that your government is getting $5 million to buy you weapons, and they're not getting the weapons, what would you advise that friend of yours who's in the army? Do we still have him?
Yes, we have. He's here. He sounds very knowledgeable. Okay,
so yeah, I think that's the main issue for me is not like trying to say Boko Haram has more weapons, but the fact that we don't have weapons at all, and the money for weapons is there. I don't think it's the work, the responsibility of the soldiers to find weapons for themselves, because it's not like an accident, like you're saying, walking by the street and someone is trying to attack you. I feel like this is something that you know, okay, I'm about to go and face. This is a deliberate war. So what would you say about that?
Adeola, let's keep it real here. Sorry to bother your words.
No pun intended.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
Soldiers are trained for years in the art of warfare.
Not these soldiers.
They're trained in the use of weaponry. They're trained in hand-to-hand combat. They're trained in military strategy. Those three things can be employed. And a clever, ill-equipped foe would always defeat a stupid, over-equipped foe. It comes down to common sense. If they use the training that they were given,
I don't know if it's as easy as you make it, as you're trying to make it sound. Like if you have a friend, one of your best friends is part of the soldiers, what would you advise him? And he just told you, hey, dude, we don't have any weapons to fight, and these people are well equipped. What would you tell him? Fight them with your hand?
Trust me, a killing machine that is well trained fights with anything and everything.
These guys are not well trained, man.
Are you a soldier, Nee? Sounds like you are.
I'm just telling you, if you're well versed in the art of warfare, you've read tactics on warfare. Yeah, even if you do a read of the Vietnam War that the Vietnamese won, they were ill-equipped dealing with the American firepower. They beat the American army. Even if you look at Al-Qaeda, as gruesome and as hideous as they are giving the American army a fight of their life, even though they're substantially ill-equipped. At the end of the day, you have to decide. You have to take an inventory of what you have, and then you determine what your military tactics are going to be based on what you have.
Okay. So what about the fact that the government has the money for this weapon and these weapons, and they are not getting them?
That's an issue that should be taken up properly on the civilian sphere. Yeah. On the military sphere, as a soldier, if I am to join the army, my job is to protect the people that don't have weapons.
Okay, thank you so much.
My citizens.
Yeah, Nee, thank you.
Sorry, we have to take another call.
Yeah, I like this Nee guy. Nee, if you're still listening, send me an email, olutech@gmail.com. I'd like to have you on the radio show.
I heard everything he said, and I still disagree with him because I feel like it's easier said than done. Like, okay, you're supposed to use your hand if you're a killing machine, but when you're in the midst of it, and you're surrounded by everybody else has like machine guns, and you only have
a knife. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Oh my God! Like, anyway, let's take the next call. But thank you for calling me. I think we lost that call, but I appreciate everything he said. But I still disagree with him because he didn't really answer the question of if this was your best friend, what would you tell him? Because it's easier said than when it's something that has to do with us.
Yeah, I understand what he was saying. That the fact that he was saying that you know, these soldiers are trained regardless, whatever.
Yeah.
But these soldiers probably didn't have that much training, man.
I know, right?
Yeah, they were, you know.
Anyway, it's good to have a different opinion.
Oh, absolutely, and we appreciate it.
Opinion,
yeah.
So.
We'd like to continue to hear from you. 917-284-9811. Please call. Yes, go ahead, Adeola.
So we've been talking about another question, which is Africans that are stranded in Israel.
Right.
And I was able to interview an Eritrean guy who's actually in this prison, and he talked about how awful it is that they just camp them in one place, and you can't go to work, you can't do anything.
Right.
And they give them some kind of allowance.
Yeah, I understand they have very like menial jobs, you know, like where they do dishes, cleaning hotels. I just want to say one of the things.
But now they want them to leave the country. Go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things I read about is that about 9,000 Africans have already taken this offer, but I don't think they're coming.
Wow.
Yes, I don't think they're coming back home though. I think they're probably going to other countries.
If they take the offer, they're taking them to some third world country, maybe their country or another third world country.
So probably try to go to Europe.
But I'm going to read one of the comments, and this one is by Christabel Boyeli. Right. And shout out to Ike Slimstar for making all this fancy comments. We appreciate you, Ike.
Big Ike.
You're the man. Yeah. So she says that it's better to take the money and come back home. Nigeria has entered a season of change, and there's going to be a moving forward. Come back home. Home is home anyway. What do you think for Nigerian migrants that may be in Israel?
I honestly, I think the reason they left in the first place was because of the conditions that Nigeria is in, but now you're faced with a worse situation. I mean, you're going to be treated even more than second-class citizens. So to be honest with you, it's unfortunate, you know, the dilemma they're facing, but if I was in their shoes, I would leave and come back home.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I also feel like the safest thing to do when someone has already made it known that I don't want you, I think you should leave. But
yeah, you know, sorry, quick, I know we got to take it, but the thing is, there's a jail time. It's unspecified amount of time.
You're so just why would you stay?
Exactly. Come back home and live free, man. Nigeria's about to blow up.
Yeah, why would you stay? So let's take one more call, and then we will take a break right after this call. From UK, please go ahead.
Hello, Adeola.
Hi.
Yeah,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. The last caller, I think, is he a Nigerian? I'm not sure.
He is.
I like the dude. He is Nigerian.
You will not, because if you know what is happening in Nigeria, they politicize that issue. Those guys, they are just sending them to go and commit crime, which they didn't. All the money they're supposed to use to buy the weapons has been given to their boss. That is why when they interview this lawyer now,
Femi.
Today said all those guys, the top military officers have taken the money and they send these boys to go and kill them. Where I think they did not think normally is the Boko Haram are killing our soldiers. Nigerian government are killing our soldiers as well.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for that point. Yeah.
Sorry, we have to go on a quick break. We actually have an interview with a spokesperson for the Nigerian police about, that video of police officer exhausting Sahara reporters taking bribes. So we'll take a break, and after that interview, we'll be right back for your callback segment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.